Friday. Again, it's not really Friday, it's Saturday, but it's like Saturday that divides up into 4 Fridays for me, but it's Friday for you, which means it's time to write again. So last Friday, we were looking at sort of like big magic, like magic that requires an assistant, like smoke to a flame. But this Friday, we're going for a whole other level of magic, and that's psychological magic. And honestly, any good trick, any good piece of magic is really an act of psychology. And so we're going to go to the greatest magician of them all, Sigmund Freud. So Sigmund Freud, of course, really was kind of interested in the study of magic. He was what would be called the emotionalist approach to magic. And so for him, what the act of magic is the will, like someone's like willpower, like their ability to go against all odds, to reshape the world to look like what they want it to look like. That's a really interesting way of looking at magic, isn't it? So Sigmund Freud says magic is the will, or willpower, which is destined to alter the world's face of the earth. Wait, the whole face of the earth. Let's try that again. Sigmund Freud says it is the will, like willpower, that is destined to alter the whole face of the earth to satisfy his wishes, right? The dreamer's wishes. It can be a her too. You just always refer to as hims, but it could be a her, or it could be, you know, any sort of combination of pronouns. It could be a they, you know what I mean? So, so whoever is out to alter the world to fit their aspiration or their ideals of what the world should look like is a magician. Now that would be every politician that I've ever admired, every social justice leader that I've ever looked up to, right? Magic is what happens when it's not supposed to. So that makes me really excited, right? And that also makes me think of like, this is definitely an approach to life where we are the masters of our own destinies. I have mixed feelings about that, but it doesn't mean I can't write from that place, right? And so in that case, like, we can really sort of play around with the magic of fate, of destiny, of how we are born into something, but how we might alter it just out of sheer will, like willpower, right? And so I have this great sort of like, sort of impulse, like I have this great love of palmistry. Like I sometimes, like I used to make a joke, but I think it's completely true. Like I would say, hey, I go to a psychic before I go to a therapist because a psychic does the same thing, only for like a quarter of the price, which is so true. Like you can go to a psychic and they'll intuit and listen and empathize with you for an hour for like $25 sometimes. Whereas like, I mean, let's not even talk about the price of a therapist, though they are worth it, totally worth it. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying like, sometimes you have to supplement with psychics. That's all I'm saying. So anyways, I love palmistry. I think it's interesting. I think whether you're thinking of it in terms of myth or you're thinking of it in terms of magic, I also like palmistry and how close it is to the term sleight of hand, right? And like, it's really like close magic, right? Almost like a card trick is what a palm reader can do to you. I love that stuff. Okay, so there was this other psychologist that was hanging out with Freud during the time called Merritt, and he had a different idea of magic too, though it was similar. And basically, magic is like a cathartic act that we use to relieve tension. So if you're really worried or full of anxiety about the future or what's going on around you, magic is a nice little trick that sort of relieves you of that pressure and tension. That is amazing. So again, thank you, psychics around the world, for many reasons. Okay, so anyways, palmistry, you can like go online and just Google palmistry and it'll like take you through like the whole map of the hand and what each region means, like the history and etymology behind like how they came up with how to read a hand. But for this, in this case, I would ask you to sort of look at the heart, the head, life, fate, sun, like the major lines. Okay, so since we have these two philosophers, or these two, they're not, I guess, I mean, psychologists / philosophers, Freud and Merritt, I have 2 writing options for you. I don't know if you can hear like the 6 cops that are outside right now, but the sirens are giving me anxiety enough to need a therapist. No, a psychic. Okay, so first of all, the will to alter the whole face of the earth to satisfy a wish. I think that's so interesting. And I like this like sort of cliche out of thin air, as if like you could just pull something out from nothing, right? So I would encourage you guys to write purely from your will. If you were to change the face of the earth, what would it look like and why and for whom? You know what I mean? Like, let's say you do have the magic to alter things as they are. Alter them. You have full permission to do it. Your pen will make anything you want come true on a piece of paper. So will it. Will it onto the page. And so that's prompt number 1. Thank you to our lovely Sigmund Freud. And then next from Merritt, the cathartic release or relief of tension. And so be your own psychic. Be your own psychic. Write out your future, right? So I think this is really fun too, because like we're really taught to have empathy to see others, but you also have to have like almost a deeper sense of empathy to see how others see you, right? So if you were to write in the persona of the voice of the palm reader, what would they honestly have to say about you? What if you were to imagine what a palm reader would say about your heart, your head, your life, your fate, your sun? I'm not saying like wish fulfillment. That's Freud. What I'm talking about with Merritt is that you can like sort of intuit what a psychic would have to say about the future that is in your hand. It's a little bit different. It's like a little bit of a twist there. So anyways, good luck predicting your own futures. I'll see you next Friday.
Back when I'm doing it like this.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll read it to you.